Most people think of coding as just typing random lines, but real development takes levels. And once you understand these 7 levels of tech design, everything starts to make sense. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. And today I'll be breaking down the 7 layers of tech design that actually make sense, especially if you're a beginner working on your first project like I am. So the first level is to start with an idea. Before you can write any code, ask yourself, what problem am I trying to solve? Like, for example, I was doing my pet grooming project for school like 2 weeks ago, and the problem was very simple. It was to have customers to find a way to book appointments within the app. Level 2, this is where the structure of your website or app comes in handy. For me, I use JSP for the front end and the Java for the back end. And to store everything, I just use a database. Level 3 is your database, your decision, what tables you need, what information you store in the database, like customer appointments, customers information. This is where the data lives. Level 4, your backend logic. This is the brain of your application. This is where things actually happen. This is where you have login system, your booking logic, and your validation. So when a user logs in, your backend checks their information and see if it's correct. Like servlets, think of it as like a little person in the back of your website looking to see what the user is typing in. So once they type in their information, that little person takes that information that they type in, goes back to the database, asks the guy in the database if this information is valid, then the guy in the database would be like, oh, yeah, it's good. Let them through. And they log in. But if not, then the guy in the database be like, nah, that ain't it. Level 5, front-end design. This is what the user actually sees when they open your website or app. This includes your logic page, such as your index page, which includes buttons and forms. It's almost like having or giving a great user experience. It's basically where user experience matters. Section 6, integration. This is where everything connects. This is where your front end talks to your backend and your database also talks to your backend. This is where something like database connection comes in, because I believe that you do need to have a connection class in order for your database to work. Now, I'm not quite familiar with this, but I'm pretty sure that there should be a database connection within your project, whether you're making a website or an app. Section 7, deployment. This is where your project goes live. Unlike a domain, you put your project on a domain and real users can actually log in to your website or app, book appointments, and interact with your system. This is where your ideas that you have in your mind becomes reality. And honestly, once I started to understand the levels of coding, it stopped becoming random. I started to see how everything connects and what happens when things really start to click for me. Honestly, once I started to understand the levels of coding stopped becoming random to me. And I started to see how everything connects. Like you do need to have things in the correct folder in order for them to work, such as your database, your JSP pages, your index, your customer page. servlets need to be in like a different section too. And once I started to see how all that like, connects and stuff, then it became a little bit easier because I've been practicing coding for like about say 2 years now. And at first it was pretty hard for me. Like I'm not even gonna lie, it was pretty hard. Like I had no idea what I was doing. In my web development class, my teacher said, my teacher said, create a template. And what I did was not code based, but I actually went into Microsoft Word, typed in templates, and I submitted it. It was like a random Word document template. And I submitted it, and the teacher sent it back to me and said that that was incorrect. I was supposed to create a website template. And I didn't know what a website template was at the time. So I was, I didn't fail the class, but I was pretty like, lost. But yeah, if this video helped you understand tech design, drop a like, subscribe, and follow for more, and let's keep building real projects together. And if you're creating your own project, then you're closer than you actually think. Peace, and I'll catch you guys next time.